Good morning. This is Chris from Worthington Home. I am headed to a church tag sale in Bristol that I'm a little bit bummed about because I can only go on day 2. I missed day 1. My neighbor Deb went on day 1 and she said it was fantastic. I was at Brimfield, so I was having a good time as well. But when I hear about a good tag sale, I just want to turn my car right around and check it out immediately, especially when Deb recommends it to me because she knows where the good stuff is. So I'm headed there now. I hope they still have some things. I don't have a lot of time. I have to be home in a couple of hours because I have to go to a work thing for Eric, and then we'll have the rest of our night to ourselves. So let's head out. This is turning out to be a very pretty drive. Okay, we've arrived at the church. Let's see what they have. It's just right up ahead. I used to have a version of this green thermos when I was a kid. This decorative screen is very pretty for $100. And on the table, there are lots of books. I love when sales have lots of furniture. I really enjoy going through some vintage furniture pieces. I really like these shelves and the ones above it. There's lots of milk glass here, as you can see, and the tables are full of interesting things, including these teapots that I want to get a little bit of a better look at.
I paid for it, I just paid for it.
This one is a music box. I'm not seeing any manufacturers that are super resellable, but it's fun to look at them regardless. This is a pretty little trinket dish. I love the colors on this and the blue bow. This is an interesting little covered casserole, and that one's a lot older looking. Cheesecake pie plate. There is always a pie plate lurking somewhere in my life. This is a pretty glass bowl. Glass does not sell well for me, so I'm not going to pick this up, but it's a very pretty piece, and I really like the feet on this especially. These are very sweet little mugs. They want $15 for this set. And this floret snack set is so cute. I love that it's in the original box. And these yellow mugs are super cheerful. It's like looking at the sun. Want to check out what is in these boxes. These are pretty little bowls. I like this elegant depression glass. It's got a really pretty pattern on it. They have lots of children's toys here. This has a great vintage look. Let's look at this. It's a Mattel candy something. Make candy with it, I guess. And these roller skates are fabulous. I had a pair just like this when I was a kid, and in fact, I still have mine. They are pretty beaten up. These are pristine. I'm not seeing a price tag on these, but I'm sure it's somewhere. And I'm just going back in the garage one more time to make sure I didn't miss anything. I think I've hit it pretty well at this point. Look at this jolly green giant puzzle. Do you remember these advertisements back in the day? Leave me a comment if you remember these. Okay, we are headed home, and I feel really happy with my finds. Well, I'm back home. The tag sale was pretty good. And now I'm just waiting for somebody to pick up their stuff from the estate sale last weekend. This person needed to make different arrangements, and because it was a holiday weekend, I was happy to do that. So as soon as she picks up her stuff, we're off to a nearby estate sale. Then I need to do something with my hair that has frizzed into oblivion in this humidity so that I can go to Eric's work event without looking like a crazy person. So wish me luck. Do you see what I'm seeing? Eric is on the roof cleaning out the gutters. He crawled out the bathroom window. It wasn't too dignified, but safer than a ladder, maybe. Oh, I'm still waiting for the person to come and pick up their stuff. They're over half an hour late. And I really want to get to this estate sale, and Eric can't help the person because he's on the roof. These are silly problems to have. I really hope this person gets here soon. I just texted her to say, hey, how you doing? Are you almost here? Fingers crossed she gets here soon. This is driving me crazy. We're back on the road, and this time we are headed into Berlin to an estate sale. Pretty sideboard. This is a very pretty dining room. This house is nice, actually. And this is a little Stangl platter. Yep, it's pretty, but I have some Stangl already on my store, and that blue bowl is nice. The lamp prices here are on the high side. Love these Lenox pieces. There's some really pretty things on this sideboard. Check out the wallpaper. This lamp was quite a bit. I think it was $250. This is a pretty little piece. They want $200 for this. And there are lots of interesting things left even on day 2. So I'm glad I came today. This is a beautiful clock. It looks Eastlake, $80 for this. And there's lots of really pretty little things. Here's another great lamp. This one is $150. And I'm not sure what that is. That's $20. Is that a bowl maybe? Okay, we're heading upstairs to see if there's anything interesting lingering up here. Interesting blue tile. And this is a bedroom of some kind with lots of books. A lot of these books seem to be medical in nature, so nothing that I collect personally. This is a cute little reproduction painting. This dresser is fabulous. It would be hard to find somebody who has enough room for this, I think. $300 on this. It has a fantastic look. And more books. And it looks like these are little mustache cups. Very cute, $10 each. Okay, now we're in a bedroom, and I want to show you this wallpaper because it is so fabulous. Check this out. You could look at your wallpaper and learn all about history all at the same time. Okay, we are headed home. That was a successful day. I had such a successful thrifting day yesterday. I am looking around at all the things I picked up, and I can't believe how much I found. And I think we should just get right into it. And I think we should talk about the church tag sale first. So that was really a good one. I have to thank my friend Deb for that. She was the one who told me about it. And it was the second day of the sale, so I didn't know what to expect, but I did pretty well. Now, I can't tell you the exact price I paid for things because we did some deals and negotiating and bundling. It was no more than $70. I can tell you that for sure because I had a certain amount of cash when I left and I had a certain amount of cash when I came back. So around 70, a little less. So that should give you some sense. And I think we should just start with what you can clearly see behind me. Let's start with this fabulous tray. This guy is so beautiful. It's in really, really good condition. It is a fantastic shape. So good, it even hits me in the face. The colors are amazing for the autumn. I absolutely love this guy. And this was only there on day 2 because they had priced it way too high. And so I was very respectful. When I spoke to one of the people working at the sale, there was, as usual with church sales, an army of volunteers doing a phenomenal job. They couldn't have been nicer or more helpful or frankly more organized if their lives depended on it. But anyway, I very respectfully went up to one person who was in charge of part of the sale, and I just said, do you mind taking offers, or are you not looking for offers today? And she was like, no, we're totally open for negotiating. And so I asked her about this tray, and I pointed out that the price on it was not a price that she was likely to sell it at a tag sale. And she totally agreed, and we made a very fair deal, especially in light of how much stuff I was clearly buying. So I got it for a great price. I am so happy with this piece. This is going to be, and this is going to be kind of a common theme. So what I'm doing in a nutshell is I'm storing up some bigger pieces in the event that I decide to get a booth space, which I'm going to start to actively research. I really want a space where I can have some furniture, some lamps, some larger pieces that I can sell. And what I'm going to do is start to gather some of those things. I'm going to store them in my father-in-law's apartment next door. He has a whole bedroom he's not using. My niece used to stay there, but she recently moved out. And so I think it will give me an opportunity to gather some things while I'm on a wait list. It seems like there's mostly wait lists for these places. And then when a space becomes available, I can move right into it in theory. So that's the thinking. That said, if I show you anything ever on this channel that I'm not personally keeping that you're interested in, I would be willing to part with some of these things if you are willing to pick them up. I'm not gonna ship them. They're too heavy or cumbersome or difficult. But if you want to pick them up, I would be willing to do some kind of sale that way. Not through eBay, probably through Facebook Marketplace, or just you can email me. So if there's anything that I say that I'm saving for a store and you're like, no, I must have it, just let me know. We can work something out. So I loved the tray so much, and I would honestly keep it if I had a place for it. And I also bought this awesome cranberry scoop. I mean, you just never know when you might hit a cranberry field and you need to scoop some cranberries, right? There are definitely not any cranberry fields that I've ever heard of in Connecticut. I think there's some in New Jersey maybe, and there's definitely a bunch in Maine. Not sure where else. Actually, when Zach, my son, was little, he had a whole book series that I thrifted, of course, called The Cranberry Kids. And it was all about this group of kids that grew up around cranberry bogs. He loved those books. But anyway, this is a great piece. I think this would look absolutely amazing on somebody's wall if they had a good space for it. It would also look amazing just like on a window ledge or on a bookshelf that was tall enough to accommodate it. It could be on a coffee table, lying flat. It could be on a little side table. I mean, there are so many great things you could do with a piece like this. I was really happy to find it. Oops. Okay. I got 2 other shelving pieces as well, so I'm going to show those to you on the floor. Hang on a second. I picked up this great shelving unit, and it's got Licorice's toy behind it. It's got drawers. There is some damage on the poles, but poles are easily replaced. Here is the very bottom, and there is the little giraffe toy. But this could display a lot of nice things, and it's got little hangers on the back so it can be affixed to a wall. But I thought that was a great piece. And then I picked up another one of these little shelves for teacups and saucers or whatever else may appeal to somebody. This is the second one I bought in 1 week. This one was only $10, so I was not going to leave this behind. And again, this is great for display or if I get a booth someday. I definitely don't have room for this. I bought one at Savers. I already have one in my attic. So yeah, I definitely can't use 3 personally, but I think this will be a great piece. maybe in a store or something like that. So I grabbed that. I thought I would show you my own little shelving unit here. I'm calling it a shelving unit. I don't know what else to call it. It's probably a dumb thing to call it. Here are my little shelves. We're in the attic right now. And you can see I keep a lot of commemorative royal family stuff here and some teacups and saucers. On top, I have some teapots. Underneath it are all of my shelves with stuff that I've just listed for eBay that's for sale. So it's not a beautiful or glamorous room, and it needs some wallpaper or something, but I really enjoy seeing these shelves every day. The last shelving piece I bought is much smaller than the other ones I showed you. This is a little guy with 2 drawers. Of course, it's kind of dusty. They had been storing stuff in their garage for quite a while. This one could really fit just about anywhere in somebody's house and could look so cute, would be really nice with some little primitives on it. You could put, gosh, anything on it and it would look really cute. So I was glad to bring that home. And while I'm here on the table, I'm just gonna pan down and show you this place set that I picked up. It is super dirty. It was definitely stored for a long time. This is a really pretty set of Mikasa plates, and these comped out pretty well. This is an older set, Mikasa Classic Elegance Wildflowers. This was designed by Larry Laszlo. I think they're very pretty. So there's a stack of dinner plates. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 dinner plates. Then there are these great soup bowls or pasta bowls. There's the salad plates and a number of teacups and saucers. So I couldn't cherry pick from this set. If I could, I wouldn't have picked up the teacups and saucers probably. It was all just one set. It was in one box. The price originally was pretty high. The second day it was half price. And when I spoke to somebody working at the sale, we were able to negotiate a much better price even from that point. So these will definitely be going on my eBay store. I want to say just another word about this church. It was so beautiful. It looked out of place in Connecticut. I feel like it should have been somewhere in Europe. It just had such a beautiful, kind of just old world, charming look. It was beautifully manicured. Wow, what a beautiful church. I heard it was beautiful inside as well. I didn't go inside, but that wouldn't surprise me at all if it's even half as nice as it was from the outside. I'm sure it's spectacular. And, you know, again, as I always say about church tag sales, it really says something about the dedication of the church-going community, the fellowship, I guess you would say, that they would dedicate their time and to work a tag sale with such professionalism. I hope they made a lot of money for their church. They had lots of good things. And as I was leaving, it looked like they were setting up additional tents with like little crafts and activities and all kinds of things. So I hope they had a fantastic sale. I'm sure they did. Okay, so next up, in no particular order, I picked up this very pretty plate. This is a Lenox plate, and it's Sweetbriar House. So I guess this is from a collection of perhaps colleges. It says Sweetbriar College. I don't know if that's a real college or not. I haven't researched it, but it's a very pretty plate. I bought this adorable little handled Limoges plate. It's from Limoges, France, and it doesn't have a manufacturer stamp on the back. I can only tell you it is from Limoges. I bought this pretty fused glass plate. I really liked the pattern on this plate. It has a nice translucent quality. There's the back. And I thought that was really, really pretty. All of these things will be on my eBay store, of course. And I picked up this pretty plate. This is a little bit of Blue Ridge pottery. I been finding a fair bit of Blue Ridge lately. It's so funny after a period of not finding any at all. I like the colors on this very much. I picked up this very pretty Lenox cup and saucer. Just a singleton guy. No friends for this guy. This is called Litchfield Garden. Here's the back stamp on it. So yeah, I would have loved to find more, but that is what they had. Then I picked up this really interesting teapot. Actually, I was very interested in it at close to full price, and then I found out it had a little flaw. So the woman really deeply discounted it for me. Let me show you. It has fabulous colors to it. Definitely kind of like a mid-century modern look about it. Or maybe even a little bit later, maybe as late as the 1970s. I'm not sure. I haven't researched it. Where was the spot? Oh, this is the spot that I was concerned about. It's like a little bit of the glaze has worn away there. It's really not like a chip. I don't think it's a chip. I think it's like worn glaze or something. But it is really, really pretty. It says made in England and Choosias or something. I don't even know how you say this. That's the back stamp. I know the sticker says 15. I didn't pay 15. I had made it, like I said, a lower offer, and then I saw that little glaze imperfection, and then I said, oh, you know what, never mind. I didn't see that imperfection before. And then she made me an offer I just couldn't walk away from, so I took it anyway. And it has one tiny friend, one little cup that goes with it. Gosh, again, I wish there had been more. There was just the one. The woman was so nice. She was looking around with me, but there was so much stuff there to try to find one little teacup or a little collection of teacups. You would have been there all day. And speaking of teacups, I tend to stay away from collections of teacups in general, but I really liked these. So I picked up 2, 4, 6, 8 of these because they're old guys. These are Wedgwood and they're called Malvern. They have a little like unicorn back stamp on them. And I would have assumed they would have saucers too. These didn't have saucers with them, but they were so inexpensive. I thought for Wedgwood, I'm gonna give them a shot. I also really liked the black and white design on this and the flowers. I thought it was really pretty. And I know this is a weird thing to harp on, but I really like the unicorn back stamp. I just thought it was awesome. So yes, I would not have paid top dollar for them, but given that they were a great price, I think I paid like $2 for the whole thing. So I figured I would take a chance. The last thing I picked up from this tag sale was a last minute decision. I don't know a lot about this, but I decided to take a chance on it. So it's this very pretty covered bowl with a flower detail. It's really a nice piece. It says Pantry Bacon by Ware Crooksville. And there's the back stamp. And it just had kind of a great look. It also came with this piece. The woman said this was the underplate. I am not sure this is an underplate. This almost seems like a separate piece altogether. This one has some staining and crazing in it. So not in pristine shape, but she kind of threw that in as an after effect because I was really after the covered dish. And it had some little small dishes with it. So this little collection of dishes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They're very pretty. I really like the pattern and I like dishes that have more of a square shape. I just think it's really unique and they seem to be in really nice condition. So I picked those up as well. And that was the church tag sale. I have to say, I went back and forth to my car like 4 times, and every time I did, there was always a volunteer hot on my heels to help me, which was so nice, including a gentleman who carried all of that china to my car, which was really heavy. So I so appreciated how nice they were, how helpful. Again, what a beautiful church. My gosh. I mean, listen, living in Connecticut, living in New England, really, we have far more than our fair share of absolutely beautiful churches around here. We really do. There's a beautiful church. I can see it right outside my bay window. It's the stunning old New England style church. But this guy, yeah, Europe is calling and they want their church back. This one just looked like it was from another time and place altogether. Stunning. So after I went to the church tag sale, I came home briefly. You saw this footage already. I had some people picking up things from the estate sale. I'm so glad I was able to meet briefly with them both. They were so nice. And one woman that I was talking to actually picked up some pieces that she's bringing to her antiques booth in a beautiful store in Massachusetts I've been to before. So I really enjoyed talking to her. And then I went out to an estate sale that was just nearby. I didn't take a lot of footage. It's really hard to do that at estate sales, but I took some. And it was day 2 and not that picked over because the prices there were really high. And a lot of people were leaving with nothing, another sign that prices were too high. I was able to talk to the gentleman whose stuff it was, and we were able to come up with some deals that were better than what he was asking for. I still paid up a little for some things, but I'm okay with it. I'm really happy with what I got. And I'm glad he was able to flex a little bit and do some deals. I tried to manage that by being as respectful and polite as I can humanly be. And so I just said to him, my husband is literally right now on the roof of my father-in-law's house. I did not expect to see that just now. You have to see this. Okay, he's coming down the roof now, but he was literally just on the roof. That is so funny. I wonder if he's cleaning up the gutters. Okay, sorry about that little distraction. I wasn't expecting it. Okay, this time I'm not gonna be a psychopath. I'm just gonna talk about my haul. I'm not gonna go, ooh, this thing just happened. I'm not really that distractible, but that was weird. So anyway, I try to make deals by I went up to the gentleman whose stuff it was. He was using an estate sale company, but I know the company wasn't doing the pricing because I've been to this company's estate sales before and they price really well. And this was not that. So I think it was the owner really setting the tone for the prices. And so I went up to the owner and I just said, may I respectfully make you a few offers? And I said, I don't want to overstep. I just want to make some suggestions for, prices I'd be willing to pay. And he was pretty open. And I really do think it was because I was careful and not pushy about it. I don't know. At least that was my strategy. So I did find just a couple of things, but I really like the things I got. So let me show you what they are. I have to reach. Okay, so I love this. Eric loved this too. I bought this fabulous yellow trash can. It is Tollware. As you can see, it's got these great painted flowers. And it even has a little painted flower inside. So I'm gonna wash this guy up, and this is gonna live in our master bathroom because this is actually the color of our master bathroom. Our bathroom was built in the 1930s. The whole little master suite section of our house was built in the 20s, like late 20s, early 30s, by a gentleman who lived here and put tremendous money into this house at that time. He completely overhauled everything. I can't even conceive of the money he must have spent at that time. But he put in an addition. So the addition was what is now our kitchen and a bathroom off the kitchen and a porch that I think was an open porch, then became a 3-season porch, and now we have it as a full year sunroom. He built the staircase leading up to the master bedroom, and off the master bedroom, there's a master bathroom, and then there's a whole dressing room. That's like really a full room. So big addition. He also put in bathrooms in the home. And so we actually have all of the original tiles and fixtures from the 1920s, 30s when that was done, which is kind of interesting to have. He also covered the original floors at that time. My understanding is that they were in pretty bad repair. He also took down a chimney, and we lost a bunch of fireplaces at that point. And I wish they were still here, but I imagine it's probably better to have things like closets and electricity and plumbing and bathrooms, and you have to let some things go. And we still do have some fireplaces in this house. We have four, which is a good number. So I shouldn't complain. But anyway, that was a long way of telling you that there's yellow tile in my bathroom. What am I babbling about? Yeah, it's yellow and blue. Why did I tell you all that other stuff? I don't know. Anyway, I like the garbage can. That's all I'm saying. That's all I have to say. All right, all of my babbling aside, I also bought this book. It's this Berlin Peck Memorial Library, and it's a little bit about one of the local libraries in town. And I just like anything about history, and especially if it's Connecticut history, and local history is even better. But this is what I love the best about this book, and I had no idea this was even in here. But you can see there's an illustration of an old library building. Now, that library is no longer in existence. It was torn down after a fire. But that library used to stand in between this house and the house where my father-in-law lives. So it would have been just right next door. And that must have been so amazing. And I so wish I could go back in time and see it. I have pictures of it from postcards and things. There are postcards from this area because it's a historic district. But yeah, this is so awesome. I might even photocopy that and maybe frame it and put it somewhere in the house so we can have that little memento of it. I think that's really cool. So, good little find. Then I found this stack of bowls and cups and one saucer that were from the Masonic Hall Association of New Britain. Eric is always really interested in Masonic stuff, and he is also really interested in New Britain. He had a carpet store in New Britain for many years. His dad's store is in New Britain, so lots of connections with that town. And so I asked the man, he wanted $40 for all of the pieces, and I showed some pictures to Eric. I sent them to him, the pictures to him on my phone. And Eric was like, oh, I would really love one mug. I don't want all of those pieces. I have nowhere for them, but one mug would be so amazing. So again, I went up to the owner and I said, I don't know if this is something you would consider, but I would love to buy just one mug from you if you would be willing to break it up. And he said, no, I'm not willing to. And I said, oh, okay. I said, thank you so much for considering my offer. And I just went back in the house. And a few minutes later, he came back in the house and he was like, well, you just want one mug? And I was like, yeah, I was just interested in one mug, but if you want to keep the set together, that's fine. He's like, well, if you want one mug and not the saucer, then I could let you have that. And I was like, yeah, that would be great. So he said $2. So I said, thank you so much. So I was thrilled to get this one little mug. Eric was really happy with it. And it's so cute. It's really heavy and nice and chunky. It says Trenton, China on the bottom. I think this is a little bit of an old guy. But yeah, really fun little piece of New Britain history right here. By the way, the book was $2 and the trash can was $5. He had wanted 10 for the trash can. I offered him 5 and he took it. This was after we'd been debating and dealing for a while. So I got the trash can for 5. The book was 2. I didn't negotiate for the book. It just was 2. I paid 2 for that little Masonic mug. And then I got 3 pieces of Lenox, and I was astonished when I asked him the price. He said $7. Everything was so high, I just assumed he would want too much for them. My $7 was a great deal, and I pounced on that. So I got this pretty little creamer. It's very textured. And the matching sugar. Oops, they are both Lenox. Let me turn it so you can see the back stamp a little bit better. Yeah, very, very pretty. I think there was perhaps a tiny repair on the sugar. Yeah, there looks like there is such a tiny former flea bite on the sugar that has been slightly repaired, but I think they're really beautiful, and I will definitely point that out when I list it on eBay, so there are no surprises. And then I picked this piece up as well. So this was part of the 3-piece set for $7. And this was Lenox as well. So I really like that piece. You know I love basket weave patterns on china. That's just an element I really enjoy. So I was really glad to find these pieces, and they were in a china cabinet that I was afraid to open and afraid to ask the price. I was like, you know, I'm here. I have very limited time. I'm just gonna ask. I couldn't believe it was only $7. So the last thing I'm gonna show you is the best thing I picked up at this sale. I really love this. So let me show you this. Okay, so there was this fabulous handmade quilt. Let's see if I can get you a better look at this. This fabulous handmade quilt. It was in the living room. The backing is plain, but the front is really, really beautiful. There is a little stained spot that I didn't see. Eric found it. He's got eagle eyes. I don't. I'll find it for you later. But anyway, this I thought was really, really gorgeous. This would definitely fit a twin bed, maybe even a full. I don't think a queen. Oh, I think I just found, is this the stain? Yeah, here's the stain. So I have not washed this yet, so this might come out. But you can see the discoloration there. Actually, now that I'm looking at it, I wonder if that will come out. But even if it doesn't come out, I might just keep it myself. I thought it was really fabulous. And I was a big fan as soon as I saw it. So, let me just put it away here. Okay, so I asked the owner how much he wanted for it, and he said $50. And so I said, I was thinking of a very different number. He was like, what? And I said, well, respectfully, I was wondering if you would consider 20. He goes, no, 50. I was like, okay. So I saw him again when I asked him about those little Lenox pieces, and he's like, well, I could probably take the quilt for 40. And I said, 25? And he's like, no, 40. So he was nicer than I mean. I'm being dramatic. He was a little crappy. It's all good. You know, we're all trying to sell our stuff and everybody wants to make money. I understand. And you know, if this was a house that he grew up in or a house that he lived in or whatever, I'm sure everything was very sentimental to him. I totally get that. Having dissolved my mother's estate and my grandparents' estate, it's not easy. So anyway, as I was leaving, after I had bought the other things that I showed you, I was leaving and I saw him and I said, 30? And he goes, 30. So I got it for 30. So I didn't steal it. You know, it was a little bit of money. It was more than I had intended to spend. And now in light of this stain, maybe I shouldn't have, but it's so pretty. So I'll either sell this one or I'll keep it. I'm going to wash it. I'm going to see how I do with that little staining spot, and we'll see what happens. But I think it's very beautiful. Okay, here is a better look at the quilt. I do think this would fit a full bed. I don't think it would fit a queen. Or if it was on a queen, you would need something else underneath it to, you know, finish it out. But it's really, really pretty. And it keeps going, so it's pretty long. And the back, as I said, is plain. But I think it's really beautiful. I'm happy with my find. Here's the new little trash can in our master bathroom. I think it looks really nice. You can see it matches the yellow wallpaper that we have going on and the blue, and then the blue tile, and I guess what looks sort of creamy now used to pull a little bit more yellow back in the day, but lots of interesting tile work happening here. This room needs a major renovation, which is why I'm not showing you more. We're over at the front door, and Eric is putting our little doorbell here.
This one?
Yeah. Looks great. So a person who wants to ring our bell will turn that knob, and there's a little bell on the inside that will sound a little, I don't know, I guess a little doorbell sound, so we know that they're there. So this is a very old school way of doing it, but we thought that was fitting in our very old house. Here's the opposite side of the door. And once this is all installed, we will give you a full demonstration, so it will be like you're here with us in Worthington Home. Hello.
Greetings.
Let's see the other side. Whoops. I think it looks very nice. Let's get a picture from afar, shall we, without my running into the road, which would be very bad. I think it looks pretty good. He also put our old historic district property sign back up. That was off for a while because he was painting the trim around the door. And there's our little pineapple knocker. So cute. I do apologize for not showing more of the fur babies in this particular video, but they have been very super chill today, and I've just been kind of going with that. You can see Miss Iris is very comfy on my notebook. And here's a quick shot of Licorice. Of course, the minute I look at her, she's got to get as close as she can. But here's my crazy girl. Not as much tap dancing today as usual, a little. Maybe she's resting her tootsies for the next video. So that's what I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed this tag sale slash estate sale slash haul video. I really appreciated you coming along with me. If you liked this video, please take a moment to hit like, and if you haven't already, please subscribe. I hope wherever you are and whatever you're doing, you're having a great day, and I'll look forward to seeing you next time. Bye for now.